Hello everyone, so today we're going to be working on identifying, adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. We're going to start with the Level A video notes, and we're going to begin with some vocabulary. The first thing you need to know is what degree means. Degree is the highest exponent in a polynomial. The leading coefficient is the coefficient that goes with the term with the highest exponent. So degree and leading coefficient are really important and go hand in hand. So if we look at this first example, we want to identify the degree and the leading coefficient. So in number 1, we've got a degree we've got an exponent of 2, 4, and this one doesn't have an exponent. So the highest exponent is 4. So we can say degree is 4. And then the leading coefficient goes with the highest exponent. So we want to look at the number in front of the highest exponent, which is 3. Alright, looking at example 2, we've got exponents of 6, 3, and no exponent. So the highest exponent is 6, which is our degree. And then the leading coefficient is the coefficient that goes with that term. So our leading coefficient there would be 4. Alright, now there are ways we can classify polynomials based on their degree. A linear polynomial has a degree of 1. A quadratic polynomial has a degree of 2. And a cubic polynomial has a degree of 3. There are a lot of other labels you can give polynomials, but we're only going to focus on knowing these 3. So if I look at number 1, I'm going to check out the exponents to classify it. So I've got 2, 3, and none. So 3 is my highest. If we look at the definitions up here, it says a cubic polynomial has a degree of 3. So 1 would go with C. Then for number 2, we've got no exponent and a 1. So I'm going to add in that 1 because that's our highest exponent. If we look back at our definitions, linear polynomials have a degree of 1. So 2 goes with A. And then if we look at the next one, we've got exponents of 2, 1, and no exponent. So 2 is our highest, and if it is a degree of 2, it is quadratic. Alright, so moving on, we also need to know how to add or subtract polynomials, which that's just combining like terms, which is something you guys have been working on for a couple years now. It's really important that you pay attention to signs because sign errors happen really frequently with adding and subtracting. So if we look at this, I've got a 3x squared here. We've got a plus sign, that's important to notice because we're adding. Then I've got negative 2x squared here. So I've got 3x squared plus negative 2x squared, which would give me 1x squared. Then I've got negative 4x plus 7x, which is going to give me 3x. Alright, over here we're adding these two parentheses again. So over here I've got a 3x to the fourth. There's no other 3x, there's nothing else with an x to the fourth, so that just gets brought down since it doesn't have anything to combine with. Then if we look, I've got a negative 5x and a negative 2x. So if I add those together, I get negative 7x. And then I've got a 3x cubed. Nothing else has an x cubed, so I'm just going to bring that down. Now, what's really important, when you are writing a polynomial for your final answer, you want to write it so that the exponents are going in order from highest to lowest. So I'm going to rewrite this so that it's 3x to the fourth plus 3x cubed minus 7x for my final answer. Alright, now number 3 is a little bit different because we have subtraction here. So you have to make sure that you subtract. So here I've got a 5x squared and I've got a 3x squared. 5x squared minus 3x squared is 2x squared. I've got negative 8x and a negative x. Negative 8x minus negative x is negative 7x. Because remember, if you have minus and negative, you add. Alright, then the last thing we have to go over is distributing. Again, this is something that should be familiar to you. So I'm going to multiply these two terms together. So that gives me negative 6x cubed. As a reminder, when you multiply with exponents, you add them. And then I've got 3x times 5, which gives me 15x. For the next one, I'm going to do the same thing. So I've got negative 15p to the fourth plus 30p to the fifth. All right, and the last one, I've got two binomials. They both have two terms, so I'm going to have to distribute each of them. So 2x times 3x is 6x squared. 2x times 7 is 14x. Negative 3 times 3x is negative 9x. Negative 3 times 7 is negative 21. And as our final step here, we just need to combine these like terms. So 6x squared plus 5x minus 21. And that's our final answer. Alright, so if you have any questions on anything in this video, make sure that you talk to your teacher about that, and then you can go ahead and move to a table now to work on to the in-class practice for level A.